Just about ready to go here on a Tuesday night at Lone Depot Park. Game one of a three-game series between the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're 34-31, and the Miami Marlins are 31-35. Winners of 5 of 6. Let's take a look at the FPL starting lineup for Torey Lovello's Arizona Diamondbacks. And I take a look at the bottom third of the Arizona Diamondbacks batting order. Ryan Waldschmidt, Lou James Groover, and Tommy Troy, 3 of Arizona's top 10 prospects in their farm system. They're all in the starting lineup for the Arizona Diamondbacks here in game 1 tonight. All 9 of those fellas will face Max Meyer, who's making his 14th start of the season. Boy, and I'm so darn tempted, Hut, just to call him the ace of this staff the way he's pitching this year.
Well, I think you can because of the way he's pitched, and he's pitched that way because he's used that new and improved sweeper. He'll throw that 27% of the time. I like the fact that his top 3 pitches, the sweeper, slider, and four-seamer, all about the same amount of pitches that he'll use. And he's really used that fastball, I think, to perfection. When he's had to use it, he's been aggressive with it, and that's why he's gotten off to a 6-0 start with a 2.81 ERA in his first 13 games.
Making his second career start against Arizona tonight. Last faced them on April 16th of last season. Suffered the loss. Yielded 3 runs, 5 hits, couple of homers, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 6 innings of work. Sit back and relax. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for making us a part of your Tuesday night on Marlins.tv, wherever you might be and however you might be tuned in. So the Diamondbacks 7.5 back of the surging Dodgers in the National League West. The Marlins 14 back of the Braves in the National League East. Ketel Marte is ready to go. So too are we. And the first pitch of the night, a slider, is hit foul, and it's 0-1 on Ketel Marte, who leads the Diamondbacks with 11 homers and 37 runs batted in.
And Diamondbacks fans are happy that Ketel Marte is ready to go.
Batting .246 this season, playing in his 33rd career game against the Marlins is Marte, the 12th year big leaguer. He's a heck of a player, 3-time All-Star, a couple Silver Sluggers. He was the National League Championship Series MVP in 2023 when they took on the Rangers in the World Series. Right in the middle of a big $100 million deal right through 2030. As he flies this fastball to center. And Jacob Marcy's got it. 1 up and 1 down for Max Meyer.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Max in this game this evening. Stowers, Marcy, and Owen Casey fill out the outfield. Around the infield, starting at third, Leo Jimenez, Otto Lopez, Xavier Edwards, Connor Norby starting at first base, and Joe Mack has been terrific behind the plate.
Defense brought to you by Doral Kia. Here is Corbin Carroll, who has faced Max Meyer before. Left-handed hitting right fielder for Arizona. He's in his 5th season. He's a 2-time All-Star. He was the Rookie of the Year. He's won a Silver Slugger. What does he do really well?
Everything.
A ton of triples.
Well, he plays. Number 1, he has speed. Number 2, he plays in a triples ballpark in Arizona.
He leads the league with 8 triples. He's led Major League Baseball in that department in the last 3 seasons. He flies this in the air deep to right, sending Owen Casey back onto the warning track. He's out of room. That's into the upper deck. And Corbin Carroll gives the Diamondbacks a 1-0 lead with his 11th home run of the season.
You know, it's amazing. The batting average has dropped a little bit, but that's his 4th home run in the month of June. So all of a sudden, the power stroke from Corbin Carroll. Got the fastball up. That's not exactly where Max wanted it. And Corbin Carroll launched it. And boy, did he launch it.
It's the 6th home run allowed by Max Meyer this season. Here is Gabriel Moreno. So a quick lead for the Diamondbacks. And Max Meyer making his 2nd career start against Arizona tonight as he gets Moreno fishing at a slider.
You know, Clayton talking about Max Meyer, not only talking about his pitches, his repertoire, but how he's improved as just a guy who has has the ability, maybe when he doesn't have the best stuff, to stay right with it. And Clayton has done that with him this year, too.
Fly ball right center. Owen Casey's got it measured 2 away.
I guess to put it simply, he loves the way he's improved as a pitcher with his stuff and as a person, how he's improved as a big leaguer.
I think so much of his growth and development has allowed that leash to get a little bit longer, knowing that you have a guy out there on the mound that, whether it's going good or bad, and obviously it's gone so darn well this season, you just know you can stick with him and he can go out there and grind through a start. He's shown he could do that. He did that in New York at Citi Field when we felt like Max might not get through 2 innings. He grinded out 6. Well, he's facing the longtime big leaguer here, Nolan Arenado. Nobody on and 2 out. Arenado's reached base safely in 22 of his last 26 games with a .353 on base percentage over that stretch. 9 doubles, 3 homers, 13 runs batted in, and 12 walks. It's kind of interesting. The Diamondbacks come to town and they enter this 3-game series having won each of their last 7 games against the Marlins here at Lone Depot Park. They've enjoyed playing here in recent years. It's the Diamondbacks' longest active road winning streak against any opponent.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks have struggled on the road this year, as have the Marlins. The Diamondbacks are 13-17 under the guidance of Torey Lovullo. Torey Lovullo in his 10th year as the Arizona manager.
He's one of the longer tenured managers on the senior circuit. 2-2 from Meyer to Arenado. This is upstairs, ball 3. Interesting you mentioned the Diamondbacks' issues on the road. You know, the Marlins and the Diamondbacks have posted the National League's 2 largest winning percentage differentials in favor of playing at home and on the road. There's your longest tenured managers of the National League. Marlins 20-16 at home, 11-19 on the road, 189-point differential. And the Diamondbacks 21-14 at home, 13-17 on the road. It's a 167-point differential as Arenado gets hit by that pitch.
Yeah, all of a sudden, even though he's close to getting out of this inning, a lot of the pitches, that breaking ball got away. It looked like the slider backed up and caught Arenado. But a lot of pitches that Max has thrown this inning have been up in the zone. The home run to Carroll, gotten away with a couple of others.
So a 2-out base runner, and here comes Pavin Smith, the designated hitter for Arizona tonight, batting a .167 on the season. He flies this in the air to right, didn't hit it very well. Long way to go for Owen Casey. He gets there. Homer by Corbin Carroll has given the Diamondbacks a 1-0 lead. It'll be Hicks, Lopez, and Stowers due up.
I'm Jay.
A Corbin Carroll solo homer has given the Arizona Diamondbacks a 1-0 lead as we go to the back end of inning number 1 here tonight at Lone Depot Park. Let's get you set with the Marlins starting lineup. As always, brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg and Garcia. Hicks, Lopez, Stowers, Edwards, Jimenez, Casey, Marcy, Mack, Norby, no Sanoja, Morel, Ruiz, or Hernandez for the Marlins here tonight. Here's the 30-year-old right-hander who was acquired by Arizona in a trade with the Marlins on July 31st of 2019. Zach Gallen making his 14th start of the season, and this is the highest his ERA has ever been in what's been a tremendous career, but he is certainly going through his struggles here in 2026.
Yeah, that's a great point because he's making his 190th career start, and his career ERA is .369.
He's had a great career. No balls and 2 strikes the count to Liam Hicks. That knuckle curve almost hit him in the back foot. Hicks leading off for the 15th time this season. Kind of that unconventional leadoff guy for you, but Clayton McCullough likes it every now and again. That's popped up. And the shortstop Geraldo Perdomo's got it. 1 up and 1 down for Gallen.
Hey, he had Liam a little bit out in front of that changeup. Here's the defense behind Zach Gallen. Tommy Troy, Ryan Waldschmidt, Corbin Carroll. So a couple of young outfielders in left and center. Perdomo and Marte up the middle. Lou James Groover at first. Another youngster in the lineup, Nolan Arenado, and Gabriel Moreno behind the plate.
One ball, no strikes to count on Otto Lopez. 10 for 26 in his last 6 games. That stretches the month of June, and he bangs this slider to center. This is deep. Waldschmidt's going back. It's over his head, and it rattles off the base of the wall. Oh, what do you know? Otto Lopez starts his night 1 for 1 with a double.
Yeah, what do you know? A base hit and an extra base hit for Otto Lopez, who had a double and a triple the other day. 17th double on the year for Otto. No hesitation in jumping on a hanging breaking ball and just drilling it over the head of Waldschmidt in center field. Love the aggressiveness of Otto Lopez at the plate.
I had to do a double take today when I looked at your Major League Baseball average leaders. You know who's hot on his heels and who now qualifies all of a sudden is Jung-Hoo Lee of the San Francisco Giants.
And how about Brandon Marsh of the Phillies having a big year?
Oof,
he's right there with him.
Yes, he is. There you go.
Of course, Lee and Arise with the Giants. A couple of hitters similar in the fact that they just spray the ball everywhere.
Here is Kyle Stowers, who swings and misses at a Zach Gallen changeup. Now, what we just showed you is reflective of Otto's first hit. So he is now batting .339 and 6 points clear of the league lead. So here's Kyle Stowers batting .214, but really struggling lately over his last 8 games. Just 5 for his last 31 at the plate. As Gallen looks back Lopez.
Of course, Otto also adding to that hit total. 87 hits, leads the major leagues. Take a look at the scouting report on the 30-year-old veteran right-hander, Zach Gallen. We've talked about him a little bit, the fact that he was a former Marlin. He's been a workhorse over the years, a lot of innings, but the opposing batters have hit him much harder this year than in his previous 6.
.3-1 with a 2 ERA and 4 career starts against the Marlins is Zach Gallen as he delivers a 1-2 knuckle curve in the dirt on Stowers. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. If I could offer you an additional scouting report, but this on the Diamondbacks defense, just don't hit the ball to the 10-time Gold Glover Nolan Arenado at third. He's a vacuum cleaner. He sucks up everything.
You know, Kyle, anytime you want to add something to the scouting report, go ahead.
Yeah, that was just my one time. Stowers gets underneath this breaking ball, flies it into left, and Tommy Troy's got it. And there's 2 away. Marlins going to hope they don't strand that one out. Double by Otto Lopez here in the first.
You know, you try to look at different numbers, and every once in a while, some of them kind of make sense. And Gallen throwing more knuckle curves and changeups and sliders than he did at one time when he threw more fastballs. But on the other hand, the Marlins lead the major leagues in hitting off-speed stuff.
It is interesting. Xavier Edwards lays off that slider. From some of the Diamondbacks folks that I talked to, it sounds like Gallen, as he's gotten a little bit older, is a little bit more scared of his fastball, the way it's been getting hit. But to your point, you're tempting fate if you're going to spin everything to the Marlins, who are so darn good against him.
So it's also always interesting to see if the pitcher adjusts to that or if he stays with what he's been using this year.
1 ball, 1 strike to count on Xavier Edwards, who's batting cleanup for the 16th time. He lays off a fastball. You know, Zach Gallen is in his team record tying for pitchers 8th season, along with his teammates Merrill Kelly and Kevin Ginkel, Randy Johnson, Andrew Chafin. He's tied for the 2nd longest tenured active Diamondback with Merrill Kelly and Kevin Ginkel. That's good fastball there on the outside corner. 2-2 on Edwards.
And we can only remember when he came over from the Cardinals with Sandy Alcantara, lefty Daniel Castano.
The Cowboy.
Yeah, Magneuris Sierra for Marcell Ozuna.
I think the Marlins made out pretty good in that deal. July 31st, 2019. Gallen re-signed on a one-year free agent deal on February 15th of this year with Arizona. Good eye by X. Count is full.
So the trading tree for Zach Gallen, of course, then was moved to Arizona for Jazz. The Marlins acquired Augustine Ramirez and others for Jazz. So that's how you kind of put it all together.
It's fun. There's some stuff I've seen out there. You can start to trace trades back like 15, 20 years. That is roped into right field. That's a base hit. Here comes Lopez. Here comes a throw from Carroll. It's not in time, and we are knotted at 1. The Marlins had the fewest two-out runs in baseball to only the Toronto Blue Jays. That's their 88th two-out run this season to tie this game.
They just seem to do it. Here's the changeup. X stays back on it, and you know it's amazing. He gets slotted in that cleanup spot, and he says to himself, "I got to drive in some runs. So let me drive in Otto Lopez." Corbin Carroll, a good right fielder, but does not have a right fielder's arm. So below average arm for a right fielder. So easy to score for Otto.
Who was often moving on contact. Here's Leo Jimenez making his 20th start as a Marlin tonight. 5 for his last 30 at the plate over a 10-game stretch. So 1-out double and a 2-out RBI single. Looks to get that run right back here in the first 2 for Max Meyer. Gallen comes home and Jimenez swings and misses.
Talk about this before the game, and think about this. I love analogies. If you're out at a campfire and it starts to get dusk and the mosquitoes start to come out, you start brushing them off and hitting them off. That's what the Marlins are like. Other teams start brushing them off. They keep coming at you.
Well, Clayton said as much in his availability today. He was asked the question, what have you been most proud of this season with your team? And he said, just our resiliency, and just whenever anybody wants to count us out in a game or in a season or in a bad week, we always find a way to come back. And he's right. That's what makes this team a lot of fun to watch. Ground ball to shortstop. That's Perdomo. Goes to Marte, and the side is retired, but the Marlins get it right back, and we're tied at 1. Make sure you don't miss a moment this season with Marlins.tv. Brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. Stream the entire season within Marlins territory for $74.99. Watch games at home or on the go and stay connected all year long, subject to 5 national exclusivities. Visit Marlins.tv for details and start streaming today. On the road with Kelly, talking with Jeremy, chatting with Jack. Come on. Spend a few shekels. It's well worth it, we promise. Geraldo Perdomo, the shortstop for Arizona, leading things off, batting .237 over 62 games this season is Mr. Perdomo, who's been at it for a long time, Hut. 6 seasons. He has hit a bit of a statistical regression this season. Now he finds himself a little bit back towards the middle of the order. Things were going so poorly that Torey Lovello had really started to drop him down more towards 7th and 8th in the batting order, but he's batting 6th and playing shortstop tonight. It's actually been a pretty big drop off for him this season if you compare his 2025 to 2026.
Well, 25, he had 20 home runs, had 27 stolen bases. Just 3 home runs so far this year. But you got to love the shoes.
Oh, yeah. Domo. For Jordans.
He's a switch hitter. But he has dropped off this year. So they expect a steady, solid season.
Probably still fair to say he's grown into kind of like that elite multi-dimensional shortstop for the Diamondbacks. He was always a defense-first prospect, and he can hit a little bit. Bangs that sweeper into center. And the Diamondbacks have the leadoff man aboard. That was struck well off the bat of Perdomo.
Anytime an opposing hitter gets a base hit on that sweeper coming into the game, hitters were hitting 196 against Max Meyer's sweeper.
So Perdomo, who can run a little bit, he's at first with nobody out. And here is Ryan Waldschmidt. He is the #1 prospect in the Arizona system. Top 30 prospect in all of Major League Baseball. Told you the bottom third of Torey Lovullo's batting order here tonight. A trio of top 10 prospects that begins with Waldschmidt. Signed as a Diamondbacks prospect. You know what, he was the pick for Corbin Carroll receiving the Rookie of the Year. He was the Diamondbacks prospect promotion incentive pick, the PPI pick in the first round, 31st overall a couple of years ago out of the University of Kentucky. And Waldschmidt gets underneath that sweeper and he sends it into center, and there is out #1.
Yeah, we're talking about the combination that Max Meyer possesses with the two terrific breaking pitches, the sweeper and the slider. The sweeper is more horizontal, just a good pitch to righties and lefties. The slider is going to be tighter, quicker, a little harder, and it's going to drop more. So a couple of outstanding pitches from Max Meyer that he's incorporated with his four-seamer.
Well, we have chronicled that sweeper throughout the course of the season and correctly noted on multiple occasions it's one of the best offerings in baseball. You know who has the best pitch in baseball?
Anthony Bender.
Who is starting to trump Devin Williams' airbender, because maybe the real airbender resides here in South Florida. It's a great article on Marlins.com the last 24 hours or so talking about Anthony Bender sweeper. Here is Lou James Groover. Takes that fastball a little bit low. Here's the highest run value per 100 pitches. Anthony Bender has the best pitch in baseball. Better than Tanner Scott's slider and Shohei Ohtani's sweeper. That's a pretty good list, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
1-1 to Groover. At the belt buckle for a strike, 1-2.
Keep him here. I'm sure Peter Bendix will be getting a lot of calls about Anthony Bender.
I'm sure he will be. So here is Groover, Arizona's #10 prospect, and he flies this sweeper into shallow right. And Casey's got it, 2 away. It's kind of interesting. 1, 2, 3. That's 5. All 5 of the outs for Meyer tonight have come in the air, and everything's to the outfield. So 2 away, and here comes Tommy Troy.
Tells me that the Diamondbacks getting a little bit underneath the sweeper. A lot of them have been on that pitch.
Runner goes in the throw down to second. Did they
Got
get
him?
They did. Joe Mack catches his 10th potential base stealer of the season. And I think X got Perdomo on that back foot. What a weapon those two are.
Yep.
We are tied at 1 here in the bottom of the second as the former Marlins Zach Gallen takes his mound for the second inning of work. As we could see from our Toyota trend, Zach Gallen leads Major League Baseball in the lowest whiff rate on a four-seam fastball this season at 6.9%. Guys, compared to last year where he was posting a whiff rate of 12.9 on that same pitch. Now, despite the struggles, Clint McCullough said Gallen, he's a good pitcher who has a wide mix, and he could play the north and south game where he elevates that fastball up and then gets hitters to chase the breaking stuff down. So for his hitters to find success, he said he'd like to see them to get that fastball up, but both the hits coming on a slider and a changeup. Tommy, we've seen just 4 fastballs from Zach Gallen coming into this inning so far.
You know, it's funny because I look back at his 2023 All-Star season. He threw the fastball 50% of the time. And this year, about 38% of the time. And I think what has happened to him and what we've heard, he's a little afraid. If he misses with it, he doesn't come back with it. But he got that call.
Well, Owen Casey just half-heartedly challenged, and you could tell that the home plate umpire, Edwin Jimenez, say, "Did you just challenge?" And Casey said, "Nope, just kidding." That was pretty unbelievable to watch. Watch Owen Casey. He wants to challenge. He does challenge, and Edwin Jimenez said, "Did you challenge?" He says, "No, I'm just kidding. I'll take a seat."
No, I didn't mean so. I'm headed back to the dugout.
Yeah.
I'm just fixing my helmet.
He correctly elected not to, because that was
It was a strike, a perfect strike. Now he's going to go back and check and see.
Boy, that was rather kind of Edwin Jimenez to almost. Well, I guess he did. He flat out asked him, "You sure you want to do that?" No. First strikeout of the ball game for Gallen. Marcy rips that to the backhand of Marte, and there's 2 away.
Here's a difference we were talking about with Gallen in 2025 last year. Even last year, more 4-seamers, knuckle curves, changeups. This year, more sliders and fewer fastballs. You can see the difference in the batting average. So things have changed for Zach Gallen. There's a good fastball right there.
Well, when you take a look at some of that stuff, you could understand why some of the Diamondbacks personnel are saying, "We just think he's scared to throw that fastball." And we can understand when Zach goes, he's got, the same amount of resources we do. It's very easy to find out very quickly that my fastball's getting hammered. I don't want to throw it.
And he is a very cerebral type pitcher, and he's the type of guy who would look into those numbers.
30-year-old out of Summerdale, New Jersey, and the pride of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. No, not Joe. He's the Buffalo native. Having a really nice start, though, to his Marlins tenure, isn't he? He's got hits in 8 of his last 12 games. Bats really starting to come around, which has been nice to see. Bats really starting to come around.
Threw out a runner last inning, his 10th of the year. Pitchers love throwing to him.
But he's been so good behind the plate that Liam Hicks has not started now in 9 days.
Yeah, it's been nice, especially with the off day. I mean, you'll probably have to be careful with a string of games, but with an off day here and there, you can do that.
His necklace just came loose. Here's Connor Norby. He's trying to find his stroke again at the plate, batting just .116 over his last 15 games. Norby, a .205 hitter this season, had just 2 at-bats during that series against the Rays. He was 0 for 2.
His playing time in the month of June has diminished a little bit, just 7 ABs this month.
It may continue to diminish as well if the Marlins continue to utilize Kyle Stowers at first. Norby sends a slider deep to left center field. This is way back, and that is off the wall. Here comes Mack around third. He's going to score. And Connor Norby makes his presence felt early in this game. It's a 2-out RBI double. That's a pair of 2-out RBIs. The Marlins lead for the first time.
And again, with 2 out, so that playing time may increase with more swings like that from Connor Norby. Looked like the slider. Good launch, deep part of the ballpark. He may have thought that he got it, but it might have been a little bit too high. But with 2 out, Mack off and running, was able to score as the ball got over Tommy Troy's glove. Good swing by Connor Norby.
So here's Liam Hicks with Norby at second. Liam takes a changeup for a strike. You know what's really nice to see about that too, Hut? Guys are not stupid. They know when they're going through it. They know when their playing time is diminishing.
Yeah, they do.
Right. And to see Connor come up here in a big 2-out situation and give the Marlins the lead, the way things have been going, that's really nice to see.
And with all the numbers, all the statistics, all the social media, you know it even more nowadays.
Yeah, you can't avoid it unless you just throw the phone in the ocean. Curveball in the dirt to Hicks, who popped out to Perdomo in the bottom of the first. Liam hitting 200 over his last 20 games. He was 1 for 8 with an RBI against the Rays. So in consecutive innings, the Marlins have gotten a double and a single to score a run. Both runs coming with 2 outs. Swing and a miss on a 1-2 breaking ball, but a 2-out RBI double from Connor Norby has given the Marlins a 2-1 lead.
Welcome back to Lone Depot Park. Marlins take a 2-1 lead here in Game 1 against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Joined now by Marlins hitting coach Pedro Guerrero, Otto Lopez, and Xavier Edwards. They combined for the first run of the game. Why should they be all-stars?
You know, Otto is leading the league in hits, batting average. I think Xavier is at the top there hanging. I think he's 4th, but they're all leading at the top of the league right there. So I think they should. Otto's also on the top on the OPS in the National League for the shortstop. So for sure, like they should be invited.
Your all-star last year, Kyle Stauer, starting to come around to the plate. What have you seen?
I think Stauer, you know, continues to work hard like he always have.
You got over there.
Like he always have. I think at this point is more about the decisions that he's making and making sure he gets like good pitches to hit and not try to like force things to happen.
And Ruiz has also been a lot of fun when he gets on base too, huh?
For sure. Every time he gets on base, he scores, so it's fun.
Back up to you guys.
All right, Kelly, thank you so much. Our Active Mic presented by the Active Cash Card.
Kyle, I'm not going to argue with Pedro's all-star picks.
No. I have 3 surefire all-stars. Now the first is a simple text from Clayton to Doc Roberts saying, by the way, Max Meyer, he's going to be there. Now remember, the position players, they do need to get voted in. I would sincerely hope that baseball has taken notice of this keystone combination for the Marlins. Obviously, if you had to rank them, I would probably start with Otto, who's the most deserving, although that seems so silly because Otto and Xavier have been so darn good. But Kelly did that interview with Otto after the game Sunday. Like you can tell how much it would mean to him, and I know it would mean just as much for X. But I think to start, there are 3 very deserving Marlins to go to Philadelphia.
I had to laugh when Clayton, talking to the media and was asked about that, said that, yeah, I've got Dave Roberts on my Rolodex.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, there's some young media people that might not know what a Rolodex is. But he can get a hold of Doc out in L.A.
Yes, he can.
And let him know about the numbers that Otto's put up.
Well, Tommy Troy waves and misses at a front door slider. And there's one away. Go out and vote for your Marlins. Please vote. And do not forget about Liam Hicks. But Otto and X and Max, again, you can't vote for the pitchers. But, I mean, just that is 4 guys right there that have put up all-star type numbers.
And you think of the all-star game, you like versatility. Liam Hicks, you could put him behind the plate. You can DH him. You can put him over at first base.
You probably just piqued the interest of Javier Sanoja on the dugout. Versatility. I can even pitch if you needed me to, Dave. Just go ahead and scan that QR code. Go to MLB.com/vote. Vote your favorite Marlins into the Midsummer Classic. How cool would that be to see Otto Lopez and Xavier Edwards up the middle? Maybe with Shohei on the mound. Remember last year, Dave Roberts invited Clayton McCullough to join his staff, and Kyle Stowers got to do the swing off, the home run derby style extra inning affair there at Truist Park. So anyway, 2-1 Marlins here in the top of the 3rd. Nobody on, 1 out. And back to the top of the order we go now. Here's Ketel Marte. And he waits on it 2-1, and he lays off of it. And the count is 3 balls and 1 strike on Marte. Signed a 6-year, $105 million deal that runs through 2030. So he grounds that through the right side for a base hit. 1 out single.
You know, we've talked so much about Max and the things that he's accomplished to this point with his 6-0 record and 13 starts. But through the first 13 starts, look at Livan Hernandez was 9-0. Max 6-0. So he's got a chance to get a little bit closer to Livan. Then you got Dontrell and Jose and Anibal and JJ on that list. They lost one game.
Some elite company, isn't it? That's how good Max Meyer has been this season. Well, Corbin Carroll hit his 11th home run of the season with nobody on and 1 out in the first. Now, 51.5% of his hits this season are extra base hits. 34 of his 66 hits have included multiple bases. That's the 4th most in baseball, trailing Matt Olson, Yordan Alvarez, in a very sneaky MVP candidate in the American League, Ben Rice.
Oh, yeah.
Now that Aaron Judge is out of that lineup, Ben Rice will have an opportunity to shine. And just in my opinion, if he carries that Yankees ball club, he might be an MVP. That is a
tough man to double up, too.
So darn hard. Meyer erases the 1-out single. A 4-6-3 twin killing. Your Doral Kia double play. Edwards to Lopez to Norbert. Marlins lead 2-1. Your scoreboard is brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. And to end the top of the third, Hut, I think it was an all-star worthy double play.
Boy, you hear about footwork so much with infielders. Watch the feet. Catches it, shifts the feet, and then makes a strong throw chest high. It's only the 3rd time this year Corbin Carroll has grounded into a double play.
A guy that is nearly impossible to double up. So let's tee it up here in the last of the third. It'll begin with Otto Lopez, his Keystone combination double play partner. Otto doubled in the first, scored on the 2-out single from Xavier Edwards. The Otto, Stowers, and Edwards here in the last of the third, facing Zach Gallen, whose 40th pitch of the ball game is rocked foul. It's 1-2. Nobody's got more ground ball base hits in baseball this season than Otto Lopez. So I don't know. Is that getting lucky? I don't know. He's got 43. That's 11 more than Randy Arozarena, who's second in baseball with 32 ground ball base hits.
He got a few of those,
yeah,
too.
Ain't nothing lucky about that. It's another multi-hit night for Otto Lopez, who turns and burns on his way to second. He's got a pair of doubles to start this one.
Well, we mentioned back in the first, it was his 17th double. That's his 18th of the year. Knuckle curve right into the zone. Otto stays on it. Stays back with the hands. Good extension. And once it got into left field, it chased Troy over just a little bit. Otto knew he was going to have 2.
So the Marlins tonight are playing their 66th game of the season. There's Kyle Stowers. Change ups at the knees for a strike. That was Otto's 27th multiple hit game of the year. He's got 8 3+ hit games. 1 4-hit game not long ago, May 27th in Toronto. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count on Kyle Stowers, who flew out to Tommy Troy in the last of the first.
He loved doing that in Toronto, too.
Yeah, he did. Lone Depot Park has been kind to Otto in his last 4 trips to the plate as well, if you go back to Sunday.
Yeah, all extra base hits. When you have a double and a triple on Sunday.
So we started the night batting .336, and his batting average now is at .341. 2 hits, 2 doubles, a run scored. He's at second with nobody out. Stowers got underneath that slider from Gallen, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Run 3 hits for the Diamondbacks, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Marlins. On a 2-2, no. Gallen spins and looks Lopez back at second. Otto deep into conversation with Geraldo Perdomo. Two. I think the Marlins probably feel like they have a great opportunity to win a series here. And again, Diamondbacks come in here. They've won 7 in a row at Lone Depot Park. But the Diamondbacks have really struggled against winning ball clubs this season. They're 11-23 against teams who are 500 or better, while winning 23 of 31 against teams with losing records. Swing and a miss. Good change up. And there's one away here in the bottom of the third, and we'll be right back after a quick word from our friends at FPL.
At FPL, our teams are working every day because reliability isn't an option, it's a commitment. FPL, working for you every single day.
Gallen has thrown some good change-ups to Hicks and that one to Stowers.
It's his third strikeout of the ball game. And there goes Lopez for third. He's got it stolen. Just swiped his 11th bag of the season.
And that's exactly why Xavier did what he did. He wasn't thinking about bunting. He saw the jump that Otto got. Just figured he'd maybe distract Moreno a little bit behind the plate. So he wasn't going to bunt that ball. He was just trying to distract the catcher.
I've heard some coaches say, too, if you bunt and you show it that long, it's going to keep the catcher on his heels for maybe an extra tick. And that might be the difference at a stolen base. So now Lopez at third with one out. Here's Edwards, and the 0-1 is taken for a strike.
That's part of the game that Clayton's been talking about, with the Marlins having won 5 of 6, having won 9 of their last 15, is aggressive play.
Right.
Yes, I know sometimes they've run into some outs on the bases, but they're going to stay with that.
So 77 stolen bases as a team for the Marlins, which is 9 more than any other club in baseball. 0-2 to X. The infield is in, and he lays off a high fastball. It's kind of interesting. So the 0-1 offering to Edwards, the infield was back. After it goes 0-2, Lovello pulls his infield in.
That's called manager's choice.
You see this a lot these days, too. Infield in with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. 1-2.
And early in the game. Years
Yes.
ago, early in the game, in close game, 1-run game, tie game, infield was usually back.
You would always concede
Yeah.
a run for an out.
Yeah.
The analytics these days say, if you can cut down a run, you have to. Blocked nicely by Moreno.
Moreno's won a Gold Glove himself back in 2023.
So 2-1 Marlins, but threatening for more here in the last of the third. Edwards at the plate. He's already 1 for 1 with an RBI single in the first. Boy, that just missed outside. X has such a good eye at the plate. There's not many other Marlins on this roster, Hut, you would trust more in this situation, with the infield pulled in and a runner on third with 1 out. He's just the guy for the job.
He's got a good eye. He's more than likely going to make contact.
And he flies this in the air to left. Tommy Troy is back to his right. That's going to work. Lopez can walk home from third, and a sacrifice fly for Xavier Edwards. He's got his 21st and 22nd runs of the season batted in here tonight.
And that's why Clayton has him in the cleanup spot.
Is he a slugger?
What a treat. What a treat it is for a hitter. But a good job by X to show bunt on that stolen base by Otto to get to third. And then all of a sudden your eyes light up and you feel much better in the box when you know you have a chance to drive in that run with an out. So good job by Otto. Great job by X.
So there's Leo Jimenez now with 2 out. He flies that fastball in the air to right center. A run on a hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Marlins lead by a pair as we cruise into the fourth.
transmisión de los Marlins está disponible en español.
Sun setting on another gorgeous Tuesday night here in South Florida. Top of the fourth inning scoreboard brought to you by FPL.
You have that eastern view when you get up in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Just as beautiful.
Oh, you know.
From your penthouse.
Never gets old. I got a couple. It all depends on where I believe that sun's going to rise. It's depending on where I wake up in the morning. Gabriel Moreno leads off the fourth, and he slugs this fastball deep to left field. This is way back and up out of the Budweiser bar. It's a second solo shot for the Diamondbacks tonight to go along with Carroll's in the first, and you blink, it's 3-2.
Well, and both Carrolls and Morenos have been absolute no-doubters. For Moreno, his fifth on the year. Talked about him having won a Gold Glove, but he's always been a guy who could hit coming up in the minor leagues. .313 career average in the minor leagues, so he could always hit. And he crushed that ball. Four-seamer.
Nice catch by that fan. There's Nolan Arenado after the leadoff solo shot by Moreno. Yeah, nice catch, dude. There's the ball. He's got it in the side pocket.
I liked the other day when you guys were in D.C. with Joe Mack's first home run. The negotiations going on.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly was out there. She did a good job.
Very good.
Yep.
Portia. That was the mama's name, Portia.
I think Portia's still wearing the shades.
Oh. So good. The whole thing was great. 1-2 to Arenado. Dribbled foul.
Nolan Arenado playing in his 73rd game against the Marlins. 14 home runs.
14th season. Great career. 8 All-Star appearances, 10 Gold Gloves, 5 Silver Sluggers, 6 Platinum Gloves. And he ropes that in the left. Home run a single here to start the fourth inning for the Snakes. Hey, time now for tonight's youth player of the ball game, and our youth player is Jacob, who plays for Team Charlie, the Marlins Youth Academy, and Jacob loves skating. His favorite Marlin is Sandy Alcantara, and when Jacob grows up, he wants to be a basketball player. Well, my advice, Jacob, play every sport you can and have a lot of fun. Here's Pavin Smith. The pride of Palm Beach Gardens High, huh?
Yeah, the Gators.
His dad, Tim, was a golf agent. I'm sure you've heard the story before. He represented among players Gary Player and Corey Pavin, after whom his son is named. Do you know his dad at all?
I do. I do. Met him a number of times.
On the range? The 19th green?
On the range, okay. Yes. And after some ball games here. Terrific family. Pavin Smith, when he signed and got his signing bonus, paid off his parents' mortgage.
Yep. That one skips away from Joe. Took a portion of his $5 million signing bonus. Paid off the mortgage as well as the home equity loan they had taken out in 2018. That is it's commendable there. It's amazing.
Solid guy, solid family, coming off an elbow injury. So right now they're just DHing him, and he played some games in AAA, but the elbow might not be ready to throw.
Foul taps that sweeper into the mid of Mack. Let's get you a quick message from Doral Kia.
Take advantage of a pricito now on all of your favorite new Kia models. Like a new Kia K5, Sportage, Sorento, Soul, and more.
So Arenado at second with one out. Here's Perdomo, and that one missed outside.
This is one of those games with Max. He's working. He's had to work. Got help with that big double play. Maybe doesn't have his best location tonight, but that's the kind of battler he is.
It's also the kind of battler that he would attest to that he has become, because after the blow up in New York, in which he lasted 6 innings, he said himself afterwards, that's a start when I was younger, that as a hothead I'd lose it, my teammates would see it, and the whole thing unravels.
Yeah, and Clayton even said that was a start that before maybe he would have only gone 2 or 3 innings.
It's nice to see the growth and development. It doesn't matter who it is, but in this particular case, talking about Max. He's behind the count, 3 balls and no strikes on Perdomo. Well, that one missed badly inside ball 4. So now a first and second situation with 1 out for the Diamondbacks, and we'll see if maybe Daniel Mosquez thinks about taking a trip to the mound here. Well, maybe not.
Well, it's the first walk for Max. He has hit a batter.
Couple solo shots allowed. 3-2 Marlins. We're in the visitors' half of the 4th as Ryan Waldschmidt waves and misses at a slider. He began the year with AAA Reno. The Aces hit .289 with 15 extra base hits in 34 games. And the front office called him up to the show on May 8th. He recorded the hit in his very first at bat against the New York Mets.
I think the ball carries in Reno the way it does in Las Vegas.
Oh my God.
How about that game last night?
I couldn't turn it off. A couple of those homers had no business leaving a ballpark.
15-14 Milwaukee win over the Athletics. There were 11 home runs hit in the game. Each team scored 4 runs in the 10th inning.
Crazy. I saw this morning a couple of the homers, I guess statistically or analytically, had no business, given the launch angle and the exit velo, which would be very routine fly balls in any ballpark. But the elevation, certainly there in the Las Vegas area, lends itself to balls flying out of the ballpark. I have one for you that I learned yesterday that I was fascinated by, as the 1-2 to Waldschmidt misses low and away. In terms of elevation, do you know the 3rd highest major league ballpark? I could not believe this.
Atlanta.
Yep. How'd you know that?
I've been around.
Oh, really? I couldn't believe that. I said Atlanta. What do you mean Atlanta? Yeah, it's the 3rd in terms of elevation.
Was it about 1,250?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ground ball to short. Could be 2-6-4. Nuh-uh. I think Otto had a little bit of a hard time with the transfer on what could have been a for surefire double play ball there.
Yeah, it was a sure double play, but watch the bobble. Little bit had a little trouble getting it out of his glove. By the time he got it to X, Waldschmidt, who runs well, beat it out. Just couldn't quite get it there.
Otto and X both making their 64th starts of the season up the middle tonight for Miami. Here's Lou James Groover. And Groover goes around on a slider. He's Arizona's number 10 prospect. Spent a year at UNC Charlotte, 2 years at North Carolina State. Diamondbacks took him in the 2nd round in 2023. He is the 3rd. He shares the same first and middle name with his father and grandfather. Meanwhile, his legal name is Lou James. Much of his childhood and early baseball career, he went by the nickname Gino.
Kind of makes sense. I would have thought maybe LJ.
LJ Groover, that's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
Bats 8th for Arizona. Did he go onto the peel? No. And Waldschmidt takes second on that wild pitch. So now there are 2 Diamondbacks in scoring position.
The good news with Sandy pitching the way he did on Sunday. Here's a side look. Did he go? Nah, he held it. Good base running by by Waldschmidt. The good news is the bullpen's in good shape tonight.
2-2. Got him. Good slider. Side retired. Diamondbacks get 1 but leave a pair in scoring position.
You're next to
Well, Major League Baseball news and notes. Yes, indeedy. Las Vegas was a launching pad last night. I told you about those 11 homers hit. 4 by the Brewers, 7 by the A's.
There were 441 total pitches thrown in that game.
Well, Christopher Sanchez last night, 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, a win over the Blue Jays. Boy, what a marvelous season he's having. How about this double play turn by Brian Rocchio?
Oh, thing of beauty.
Nice pick over there at first, too. Nicely done. Sure. Look around the major leagues on this Tuesday night. Bottom of the 4th inning scoreboard brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg and Garcia. The Diamondbacks are within a run, and here is Owen Casey.
One of the things Owen Casey's working on, talking with Pedro Guerrero, is to be aggressive and let it fly. You get that good fastball to hit, go ahead and take a rip.
He rips that right into the mitt of Groover at first. Some tough luck there, 1 away.
Christopher Sanchez, by the way, Kyle, is 8-2 with a 1.54 ERA.
It's your
early Cy Young leader
in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think Skeens, Ohtani, and Mizorowski might have something to say about it too, though.
Paul Skeens pitching tonight. That means he and Max Meyer are slated to tip it off against one another a little after noon on Sunday as Marcy yanks that fastball into right. Jacob Marcy's 1 for 2. Well, to infinity and to the ballpark. Join the Marlins for Toy Story 5 Day on Sunday, June 21st at 1:40 when the Marlins take on the Giants. Special ticket package includes your choice of an exclusive Woody or Buzz Lightyear jersey. Make sure you don't miss it. Get your tickets at marlins.com/Toy Story.
Well, that's 2 balls that Jacob Marcy is absolutely scalded tonight. How about this number? He came into the game hitting .273 in June. Hitting .273, but his on-base percentage was .529.
Yeah. That's why you live with the average, because you just assume it's going to come around because he constantly finds himself on base.
And he's been on base 1 out of 2 tonight.
He has gotten a little bit skittish on the bases. He's also been caught a league high 9 times.
That's probably why he's gotten a little tentative.
He still leads the Marlins with 16 stolen bases on the year, but I think he's probably trying to pick and choose his spots a little bit more wisely these days. Joe Mack singled and scored in the 2nd, and Joe hits that right back to Gallen. His glove falls off. His only play is at first, and Mack is safe there. I don't know where it caught Zach Gallen, but everything went flying. There was a yard sale on the mound, and everybody is safe.
Well, it caught him in the glove.
Well, thank goodness.
But not in the pocket of the glove. And as he scrambled to get the ball, he didn't have a play at second. I think he looked there first, picks up the ball. There's the peak at second. Then he realizes his only chance is at first. It'll be an infield base hit. Second hit for Joe Mack.
Probably disappointed he didn't catch the ball. Ball was hit so hard by Mack at 106.5 miles an hour that it actually knocked the glove off his hand. So Joe's 2 for 2.
Well, when you complete your delivery 60 feet 6 inches to the plate, you're closer after that. You're closer than anybody else in the infield.
Fortunately for Gallen, that ball caught all leather. Here's Connor Norby. He doubled in the second, and he lays off a slider for ball one. Really nice to see Norby get off the schneid in the bottom of the second inning. He has 16 runs batted in on the season now after his 2-out double. Marlins got one in the first, one in the second, one in the third. They're threatening here in the fourth.
Marlins have base runners every inning.
Can't ask for much more than that.
2 hits in every inning except the third. They had a double and a sac fly in that inning.
Swing and a miss. They're making Gallen work too. You normally like to hover around 60 pitches after your fourth inning of work. This will be pitch number 68. That slider just missed outside. Ball 3. Throws a very hard slider, about 90 miles an hour. Almost profiles like a little cut fastball. Big opportunity here for Connor Norby if he gets a good pitch to hit. He does not, and that's ball 4, and the Marlins have the bases loaded for the top of the order now. We'll catch the Marlins and the Giants June 19th through the 21st with special events honoring Juneteenth plus Flanagan's Fest, Toy Story 5 Day, and food and drink deals all weekend long. Get your tickets at marlins.com/tickets.
Pitching coach Brian Kaplan out to just try to kind of settle Gallen down, let him know there's 1 out. You can get out of this with a double play. On the other hand, you got to face a guy who has 47 RBIs in Liam Hicks.
And who does not often swing and miss.
You know, and you look at the list of guys, lowest strikeout percentage. You've got Liam Hicks at 9.2%. Nico Horner second on that list, and I don't think any of us would be surprised to know that Luis Arraez leads that list.
Many people would probably be surprised that Luis Arraez is like the best second baseman in the National League this year. A lot of people think he might be dealt at the deadline by Buster Posey. Bases loaded situation. Liam Hicks pops this up. Groover's got it. 2 out.
Oh, Liam would like to have that pitch back.
Bases loaded, 2 outs for Otto Lopez, who has tied a club record with 4 consecutive plate appearances with an extra base hit. A 5th would be a real treat. Giancarlo had 4 straight in 2015. Cody Ross 2009, and Adrian Gonzalez had 4 straight plate appearances with an extra base hit in 2000.
Cody Ross could get hot and stay hot. Had that 3-homer game.
He's a heck of a ball player. Or Alex Gonzalez, I beg your pardon. I said Adrian.
Who was a first-round pick of the Marlins.
Yes, he was.
Adrian Gonzalez.
1-1. It's in the dirt, ball 2. Boy, Gallen going to start to back himself into a corner more than he already has, especially facing Otto Lopez, who's clearly seeing the ball well out of his hand tonight. Clayton McCullough and company looking on. Pop foul. It's 2-2.
This is where Zach Gallen has had trouble putting hitters away. Earlier in his career, he was able to do that.
Otto stays alive. Hard to lay off that changeup. Must be the 76th pitch in this ball game for Zach. And look at through the order this season for Gallen. It starts to get worse and worse and worse, like it does for so many. His 2-2. And Otto cues that foul off to the right. We'll have to do it again. Gallen, he takes the card out of his back pocket. See how he should attack, or I guess continue to attack Lopez. Well, you do not see that very often from a pitcher. Another 2-2. This time Lopez lays off a slider in the dirt, ball 3.
Go ahead, everybody will be on the move.
Marcy at third. Mack at second. Connor Norby at first. 3-2. There they go. And a fly ball in the air to center for Waldschmidt. Marlins leave them loaded here with the fourth, but they still lead by a run. Marlins baseball is presented by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito. And by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms do apply. So some hot dogs on a Tuesday night here at the ballpark. Go out there and hang out in the bullpen bar and grill. On a terrific options here at Lone Depot Park. Marlins lead by a run as we go to the top of the fifth. And Max Meyer kind of doing his part tonight on a night we both feel hot like might not have his best stuff, but the Marlins have won 6 of his last 7 outings. And his 0-1 to Tommy Troy is waved at and missed.
Yeah, it's interesting. It might not be the best command. I think the stuff is okay. He's just been a little off with the command, but has worked his way through it.
And the boys back him when he starts. Third most run support in baseball, a little over 7 runs a game. Meyer beat the Nationals 4-1 in D.C. on Wednesday. Want to run over 7 innings. The 1-2 to Tommy Troy is golfed into center, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Dribbled and swatted down by Marcy. Lead off.
Well, he hit that bat enough that he was able to drop it in for a base hit. Didn't hit the sweeper all that well, but spotted it perfectly.
So Diamondbacks got a leadoff single in the second. The solo shot by Moreno in the fourth. Tommy Troy reaches. The leadoff bloop single to center here in the fifth. Here is Ketel Marte. You know the interesting thing about Max Meyer, and I think you have to give Clayton McCullough and his staff a lot of credit here. He's already set career highs in starts and innings pitched. He's kind of pacing for like that 150, 160, maybe 170 mark in terms of innings pitched. As the 0-1 to Marte is swung on and missed. So, like, you know, they really trust him, but they're also managing him to make sure. I mean, he's going to start to reach territory very soon he's never gotten to before.
Because he's dealt with various injuries.
Yeah, and they're managing him really well.
Yeah.
I think they're managing him really well. Not just yanking him out of starts after 5 innings, but they have a very close eye on Max as Marte swings and misses. It's the second strikeout tonight by Meyer on that sweeper. It's his 4th. Well, don't miss a moment this season with Marlins.tv, brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. Stream the entire season within Marlins territory for $74.99. You can watch games at home or on the go. Stay connected all year long. Of course, subject to national exclusivities. Visit Marlins.tv for details and start streaming today. Corbin Carroll yanks one foul.
Kind of like that look that Kelly had with the helmet on.
Yes, exactly. In the streetcar in San Francisco. Snap throw to first. There you go.
There it is. Always a fashion statement.
There's the Atlanta Seaquarium. Jeremy Tachet's doing his part. Jack McMullen doing his as well.
Always great to see Jack. And I mentioned this to you, Kyle, but when I'm not here at the ballpark,
yeah,
you guys are on the road, and,
right.
And if I don't have a chance to be home and have the TV on, I'm listening to Jack, and heard a little bit of AJ Ramos last week. Could be Nelly, could be Gabby, could be Kelly.
Could be Kelly. We have a lovely mix. There's the boys. Nelly just goes right from TV to radio. He's got to watch himself. He toes that line.
I was kidding. The Diamondbacks TV analyst for this series, Tom Candiotti.
Oh.
He kind of goes radio TV, and he's on TV for this series.
The Candy Man.
Yeah.
2-2 to Carroll. Swing and a miss. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Max on that sweeper. Now he's got 5 punch-outs and 86 on the year.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? All of a sudden, Max has gotten himself in a little bit of a jam. Arizona with base runners every inning after the leadoff base hit by Troy. What he's done, he's made 2 excellent pitches to strike out 2 really good hitters.
And now he's got to deal with Gabby Moreno. Hit one to the moon off of him, leading off the 4th. It's his 5th home run of the season. As Moreno waits on a 1-0. It's in there for a strike.
Yeah, his home run was one of those shots they used to say came with meal service.
Also needed clearance for landing. This time he bounces one to Jimenez at third, who goes the short way to second. And the Diamondbacks can't do anything with a leadoff single. Well, treat your dad to a day at the ballpark. Join us on Sunday, June 21st at 1:40 when the Marlins face the Giants. With the first 7,500 dads ages 21 and older receive a special Father's Day hat presented by Blue Moon. Get your tickets at marlins.com/tickets. Let's go downstairs and check in with Kelly. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Kyle. Stowers is leading it off here. He's 0 for 2 today, but guys, he's coming off a really strong road trip where 7 of his 10 hits were for extra bases, including his first triple of the season and his 4th homer. He said, hey, he really likes where his swing is. He thinks it's in a really good place, but he acknowledges there's still a lot of room for improvement. He said the positive takeaways are as follows. Got the slug back. He's committed to the heater. And he's also making pitchers pay when they miss in the middle of the plate. But that is exactly what he wants to cut down on, guys. He notices that he's still chasing a little too much. He wants to do a better job of keeping pitchers in the zone.
All right, Kelly, excellent report. Thank you very much. Let's see if Stowers can do a little damage facing Gallen leading off the last of the 5th.
You know, you hear us talk about chasing, and it's so hard to hit. And where guys are throwing 95 and above, sometimes you got to cheat just a little bit to try to get the bat head out. It's, man, if you get a good off speed, but you want to be ready for the fastball. You talk to all hitters, they want to be ready, be on time for the fastball.
Marte throws out Stowers, and there's one away here in the 5th. So now it's Edwards' turn, who's 1 for 1 with a couple of RBIs. Ouch, right back up the middle. This is Gallen, diving stop. Perdomo to his feet, throw to first, not in time. It's a 2 for 2 start tonight for Edwards to go along with a pair of runs knocked in.
Just another good at bat and solid swing by Xavier, who's a tough guy to defend because he hits the ball all over. We've seen him drive balls when he's a left-handed hitter, drive balls the opposite way. We've seen him pull balls that one right back up the middle.
And now Gallen pays him a visit over there at first. Edwards has just the 11 stolen bases on the year. Marlins have stolen 1 tonight. Here's a snap throw to first, and X dives back in safely. In fact, the lone stolen base for the Marlins was another stolen base of third. It came courtesy of Otto Lopez, who set up the Edwards sac fly on the third. That stolen base of third in the third was the Marlins' 18th stolen base of third base this season. That's the most in Major League Baseball. Bouncing ball left side. Arenado down to Marte. No return throw to first. And they force out the runner Edwards at second. Well, students, if you want to score a major deal, you can. Sign up for the Marlins University, presented by Celsius. Get verified in seconds using your .edu email and unlock exclusive student-only ticket offers starting at just $5. Sign up now at marlins.com/student.
You know, talking about being on time, and that's what Owen Casey was telling me around the batting cage. Be ready and be on time.
He flies this in the air to left. And the Marlins go quietly here in the 5th.
Georgian Jr.
Welcome back tonight to Ocean Bank Making Waves Minor League Report. Highlights Eliezer Dishmay. A big congratulations in order for him after being named the Southern League Pitcher of the Week after tossing 6 innings of just 1-run ball, allowed just the 1 hit, a walk, collected 9 strikeouts along the way. It's been 9 starts so far here in the minors, but just the 2 starts with Pensacola. He was actually promoted from single A Beloit guys after posting a 2.14 ERA across 7 games.
Are you sure that wasn't a photo of Salvador Perez? Holy cow, that kid looked like Salvi. Well, 1 pitch and 1 out for Max Meyer here in the 6th.
A younger
Salvi. My gosh. Looked just like him.
Good for Max to get 1 out on 1 pitch.
It's a close game, but he has been much more efficient than Zach Gallen has. And here he sits with nobody on and 1 out in the 6th, on the verge of putting together once more another quality start.
Yeah, and I would think this would be his last inning.
Sure.
He'll get into the 90s. He's had traffic to deal with a lot.
You know, on Smith. Walked him. Make sure you stay tuned till the 7th inning for the stretch, brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks.
So it's a pretty amazing game. We're here top of the 6th. Each team has had at least 1 base runner every inning.
A lot of action as Perdomo takes a sinker at the belt for a strike. A lot of action. Perdomo singled in the 2nd, walked in the 4th. Whew. He was trying to make it 4-3 with that swing.
I think his eyes lit up.
Holy cow.
When he saw that changeup up in the strike zone a little bit. This is a Diamondbacks ball club that is on the road for a trip through Miami and Cincinnati. They're tied for the final National League wildcard spot with the Padres. They just lost 4 of 7 during a homestand to the Dodgers in the Nationals. Nationals had a big comeback at Oracle Park last night. They scored 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning to beat the San Francisco Giants, who came home winners of 2 or 3 on the north side of Chicago. Boy, how about that situation developing with the Cubs? They're almost 500.
Well, that's what happens when you have two 10-game winning streaks and a 10-game losing streak and a whole lot of bad mixed in there as well.
Yeah, and they've not played well at Wrigley either.
No. Cubs just a few games over 500 at home. They're 34-32. They're in Colorado tonight as the 2-2 to Perdomo's hit foul. Dodgers starting to create some separation out there in the West with these Diamondbacks and Padres. Arizona and San Diego have both lost 7 of their last 10. Dodgers have won 6 of 10. They have a 7.5 game lead in the National League West. There's those National League West standings for you. There hasn't been as much talk about the Rockies just being terrible. That is roped on a line into right and a base hit for Perdomo. Will Smith try to go to third? He will not. He slammed on the brakes. It's a 1-out walk and single. Now the tying man is in scoring position with 1 away, and Waldschmidt will be the batter.
Yeah, the changeup. That one he didn't get away with. Remember the one that Perdomo came out of his shoes on and missed. This one he hit. Pavin Smith averaged to below average speed, so he's not going to go first to third.
And now Joe Mack with a very slow walk to the mound. And you have to wonder how much time they're trying to buy for Anthony Bender to get ready. I think they bought enough time, huh? Because here comes Clayton. And he's going to make a change. Well, the man with the best pitch in baseball is coming in for Miami. Anthony Bender will try to clean up this mess for Max Meyer here in the 6th inning when we return. Diamondbacks are threatening here in the 6th, but Bender is looking to swat that threat aside. StatCast is powered by Google Cloud, and here's a look at Anthony Bender's arsenal this season.
Well, we've talked about that best pitch in the game, the sweeper. Throws it 49% of the time, and that's why. Hitters hitting .096 against it, but I really think a lot of the times it's set up by that hard sinker that's in the upper 90s.
They are 5 for 52 against that sweeper this season. And the expected batting average on that sweeper ain't much better. The real batting average, .096. The expected batting average is .155. 28th appearance of the season for Bender is the 1-0 to Waldschmidt. Hit the outside corner, or did it? It's called a ball. But Joe Mack will issue his first challenge of the night.
And Joe Mack has been really good.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile. Let's give it a look.
I think when he first came up, we saw him a little tentative in asking for challenges, but lately he's been spot on.
He was spot on that time, not by a whole lot, but he knew it. And it's 1-1 on Waldschmidt. And the rookie lays off a sinker. I had been meaning to share this with the audience, but I spoke with the Marlins director of catching, Max Garrett, in the last couple of weeks, who heard us talking about how successful the Marlins have been at these ABS challenges. And there's a strike, and I asked him, like, what did you guys do? And he said, number one, there's no secret to this. We were out every morning in Jupiter working with these guys. You know what they had them do? They had them catch 100-mile-an-hour sliders off a machine to start to identify the strike zone. And they were graded off of that. And their decisions were being tracked. They still do it during home series, but that's how they got these guys so good at this. Bender's 2-2, struck him out. See you later. Had no shot, and there's 2 away.
Just to put the sweeper in perspective, Anthony Bender's sweeper gets 19.8 inches, almost 20 inches of glove side break. That's 6 inches better than league average.
And here's that graphic again. That's the best pitch in baseball from any pitcher this season. The highest run value per 100 pitches. And here is Lou James Groover. So from one rookie to another, my suspicion is Lou James has not seen many sweepers like this in the PCL.
Just you read my mind. Lou James didn't see many of these in Reno.
And it's 1-1 on Groover, who's 0 for 2 tonight.
See the velocity of the sweeper, which he throws almost half the time.
Missed with it that time. Guys cannot lay off that sweeper if it comes out of his hand looking like a strike. Doesn't matter where it finishes. 2-1. It's knocked foul. It's 2-2. I think that sweeper got much more of the plate than Bender would have liked. But again, Groover hasn't seen anything like this.
You know, the Marlins don't have to worry about it. But I wonder if the Trex machine can throw a sweeper.
Ooh. I'm sure it can do it all. That just missed.
There's that good sinker, good two-seamer.
You go with Old Faithful here, 3-2 sweeper.
Absolutely.
You know Groover's thinking about it. Got him. It didn't matter. Bender comes on and punches out Waldschmidt and Groover with that signature sweeper. And after 5.5, the Marlins still lead by 1.
You're next to
Marlins TV is presented by Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Tuesday night in the Magic City. And the Marlins have a very slim advantage over the Diamondbacks. So we enter the bottom of the 6th. It'll begin with Jacob Marcy. It'll be he, Mack, and Norby. Bottom 3rd for Clayton McCullough's Marlins here tonight. Marcy rounded out to 2nd, back in the 2nd, singled to right in the 4th. And he finds himself in a 1-1 count. Zach Gallen still out there for Arizona.
Yeah, it's one of those games that if you don't look at the score, you have the feeling the Marlins have like a 3 or 4 run lead. Gallen's made some good pitches with that changeup tonight.
Now look, he takes that out of his back pocket and he goes to that card just like a defender would. He's got the scouting report in his back pocket. I don't know if I've seen that from a pitcher. Sit on the ground, couple of hops for Marte at 2nd. Marcy's out, 1 away.
Well, the scouting report told him to throw a knuckle curve.
I bet Zach Gallen's probably out there thinking this feels like one of my better starts of the year.
He's the kind of guy, as I mentioned earlier, very cerebral, that you know he attended classes at North Carolina.
His Tar Heels are going to the World Series. They beat USC in the Super Regional. USC ever come knocking on your door?
No, at that time, college baseball was a lot different. There was a time USC was in the College World Series every year.
Yes, there was. Oh, broke his bat.
Under the longtime coach Rod Tato.
You don't think he hit this ball off the end of the bat, do you?
End of the bat. Literally.
Those don't hurt as much as catching them off your hands.
No. It depends, though. Sometimes if you're in cold weather, that one will sting.
Zach Gallen coming off a loss against the Dodgers his last time out. 5 runs, 4 earned, 5 innings, 9 hits, 2 walks, a strikeout.
Yeah, he allowed 3 home runs in that game.
Do you know Lone Depot Park has yielded the fewest home runs per game of any National League ballpark this season? It's ripped on the line into right. Tell you what, that kid is starting to see it pretty well at the plate because everything is starting to sound a little different, and it's coming off that weapon with some authority.
How about a 3-hit night for Joe Mack? Went back, got another bat, decided to stay right on that changeup that he got from Gallen. You got to stay back on that pitch with your hands, and he did just that.
First 3-hit game in the major leagues for Joe Mack. Zach Gallen departs shaking his head. Torey Lovullo takes the baseball from his right-hander, and he's going to the bullpen. And we'll have more when we return. Well, don't miss a moment this season with Marlins.tv, brought to you by WHG. Stream the entire season for $74.99. You can watch games at home or on the go. Just visit Marlins.tv for details and start streaming today. I like that deep dive series with Jack. It's good stuff. Here is Connor Norby taking on the 33-year-old right-hander out of Ashburn, Virginia. This is Taylor Clark. And he is aging like a fine wine because in 29 appearances this season, he has been a nail gun. He's got a 1.67 ERA. So Gallen out and another righty in. Norby lays off a changeup.
Yeah, he's going to use a slider, sinker, changeup. Slider's been a really good pitch for him. That's been his out pitch.
Originally drafted by the Diamondbacks in 2015, spent some time in some other organizations. Signed as a free agent with Arizona on January 15th. 2-0 was wrapped foul. Look out down there.
It's kind of funny how relievers come and go. They surface. You don't see them for a couple of years. Maybe they come up with a new pitch, and then they're back in the big leagues. Speaking of guys resurfacing, how about Trey Mancini?
When he got that hit last night for the first time in 3 years for the Angels, you could tell his eyes started to get a little bit red, knowing what that hit meant to a guy that's got, what, 140 homers and $35 million in the bank. He got, who's the hitting coach there? He talked him into coming out of retirement. Like, it was just a base hit that nobody will ever remember except Trey Mancini. He was really cool.
It's almost like, well, he beat cancer.
Yep.
Now he's beaten the game, trying to.
And shame on me, it was Brady Anderson, their hitting coach. He was a great Angel. He's the one that talked Mancini into coming out of retirement. But anyway, here's a walk to Norby, and now the Marlins leading by a run. Have runners at first and second with one away. Join us for the South Florida Black Legacy celebration on Friday, June 19th, when the Marlins take on the Giants. Special ticket package includes an exclusive jersey. Get yours at marlins.com/SFBL. Here's the good news when you're talking about the Marlins tonight. When you're doing damage and good things are happening from the bottom of your order, you've got a really good chance to win a game.
Well, you look at Joe Mack, Connor Norby, 4 for 4, a couple of walks, a run. And even Jacob Marcy with a base hit and has hit the ball well tonight. He's hitting 7th.
Mack and Norby in particular have not been retired. 4 for 4, 2 walks, runs scored, RBI. They are at first and second as a 1-0 to Hicks. Drops in there for a strike. It's 1-1 on Liam, who is 0 for 3 tonight. There's Michael Peterson getting loose. Marlins have had a boatload of base runners in this game. Can they capitalize in a big way now? They are 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They've left 6 guys on base as Hicks waits on a 1-1, and he shoots that into left field. That's a base hit. Rolling down the line. He just kept it fair. Joe Mack will score. Connor Norby puts on the brakes. An RBI double for Liam Hicks. That is a big hit. Now it's 4-2.
That's huge. And you got the right guy up there. 48 RBIs now for Liam. Sprays the ball everywhere. and I was watching Connor Norby, who was thinking about scoring. There's that base hit just down into left field. As Norby came close to third base, he looked at the stop sign of Blake Lally, because you got to give Troy credit out there in left field. He got the ball. Here's the stop sign right there. Norby puts on the brakes.
Here's a chance for Otto Lopez. And you know, Hut, that Blake Lally knew, look, if I wanted to be uber aggressive here, sure. Can we send him? Sure. But you know the part of the order you're in.
Yeah.
You know Otto Lopez is coming up with one out. Then you know it's Stowers and Edwards. And the Diamondbacks, I think, starting to feel like they're in big trouble in this game. Trailing by 2, Marlins looking for more. The 0-1 is swung at and missed. Good slider from Clark.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, and then so many things are factored into third base coach and first base coach in making those quick decisions.
Connor Norby had it his way, he'd still be running. Second-year third base coach for the Marlins, Blake Lally. It's a good hold. The infield in here for Arizona, trailing by a pair in the 6th. What a block by Moreno, and Norby has to stay put at third. Ball carry him right back to the pitcher, Clark. Real good night for Connor Norby. Good night for Joe Mack. Good night for Xavier Edwards. Good night for the Marlins offense.
Hey, good night for Otto. Couple of doubles.
Laid off another changeup. From 0-2 to 2-2. You know, he obviously would want to get him 0-2, but you don't have to give in to Lopez with the guy on base. I mean, this guy leads the league in hits, leads the league in batting average. You can be careful. 2-2, ground ball to shortstop. Perdomo has him hung up, and now Norby tries to dive to the plate, and he's tagged out. I don't know if he didn't stop, but what maybe he had a chance. That ball was hit right to Perdomo.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if he's going on contact, which it looked like he was, but then he saw Perdomo get the ball, tried to do a little hesitation toward the plate. Perdomo came up and made a good throw.
So Hicks goes to third, and Lopez is on at first. Fielder's choice put out, goes 6-2. Quick throw to first. Guess we'll see how aggressive the Marlins want to be with Lopez at first with 2 outs. Moreno's got a very good arm behind the plate. He's a Gold Glover. Stowers swings and misses, 0-1. Run home for the Marlins here in the 6th. Hicks at third. Nolan Arenado is not in the same zip code. I mean, if Lopez, I guess if he ran and got caught in a rundown, there's probably a pretty good chance Hicks would steal home. But that's very aggressive. As Stowers takes a slider off the corner. You see what I'm seeing there? I mean, Hicks can come so far down the line that if Otto went and they threw through, if he just put on the brakes, Hicks would probably just walk home.
Yeah, if you're the runner at third, Hicks in this case, you can get off as far as the third baseman is.
Stowers deep to right, way back and off the wall. That's gonna play to pair. A 2-out, 2-run double for Kyle Stowers.
You can do all that as a runner at third, unless in the back of your mind you know Kyle Stowers is going to rake one off the right field wall for a double and 2 RBIs.
That was smoked with some serious authority.
Last year's All-Star with a terrific swing and at bat. Got the changeup. Marlins have had some good swings on changeups tonight. We talked about it earlier, best batting average in the league on off-speed pitches. There's an example from Kyle Stowers.
Crushed. Only question was whether it had enough hang time or not. This is a Marlins ball club that entered tonight's game with the second fewest two-out runs in baseball. Guess how many they have tonight? How about 4? Well, a 3 spot for the Marlins here in the 6th. They have found themselves with a little bit of breathing room as the big tall right-hander Ryan Thompson is up and loosening. '11th double of the season for Stowers. Scores Hicks and Lopez. Now Edwards takes a cutter for a strike. Now remember, even though the Diamondbacks are 34-31, they haven't necessarily played great this season. They have feasted on teams that do not have a record of 500, and even though the Marlins do not, this is not the kind of pesky team I would want to come to South Florida and face, because this is exactly what the Marlins could do to you.
I think managers around baseball talk about that a lot.
I agree with you. And if they don't, they better start. I don't know, but and I watch plenty of baseball, Hunt. Even when we're not here, I listen and watch. I don't know, maybe outside of the Brewers, if you can find a more pesky team offensively. Nobody's easy to strike out. Everybody puts the ball in play. There's enough speed that everything is close.
Kind of like the Brewers do that.
Yeah,
a lot of guys put the ball in play.
I don't
Not a lot of swing and miss.
I don't know if there's another team except for the Brewers that will stress you out to this extent. And then you get the big 2-out, 2-run double. And now it's 6-2. And it might be 7-2. No. Marte robs Edwards of an RBI single. Would have been his 3rd hit of the night. But Kyle Stowers, a 2-out, 2-run double. A 3 spot for the Marlins here in the 6th. And after 6 full, the Marlins lead by 4.
Let's turn to Michael Peterson here in the 7th. They have a 6-2 lead over the Diamondbacks. I talked to Daniel Oscus about Max Meyer's outing. He told me he describes it as a gritty outing. It's one he really had to grind through. He said he didn't have his best stuff, didn't have his best execution, but it's a kind of outing that they're proud of him for because he had to find a way to grind through it, guys, and he did what he needed to do. He said pitch count, he was at 95 pitches, definitely did have enough to get through that last inning, but they saw the perfect pocket for Anthony Bender, and Anthony Bender did a nice job of coming in there and collecting a couple strikeouts to end the inning. But again, an outing for Max Meyer where he really had to find a way to get through it, even though he didn't have his best stuff.
That's part of that maturation process that Clayton talked about.
And Kelly, while you were on assignment down there, you almost got hit by that foul ball when you and Daniel were in conversation.
Yes, we almost died.
How many other sideline reporters in baseball can summon the pitching coach to the far end of the dugout during the game to get a report?
I don't know if I will after that. After the near-death experience, I don't know how many more times we'll be able to do that.
Answer
but,
my
it's
own
been fun
question.
while it lasted.
The answer
right?
is none. There's Tommy Troy leading things off. And Michael Peterson is out there now for Miami. What a great year he's having.
Quietly has found a nice role.
And to get back to, almost called the Mayor Bender for a second, Anthony Bender for a moment. You know, over the years, I've always heard that not all saves are created equal. Obviously, Anthony Bender does not get a save tonight. But, you know, it's kind of fair to say that was a bit of a save situation. 1-run game, 1st and 2nd with 1 out. You don't want the Diamondbacks to take the lead. And what's he do? He comes in there and strikes out a pair. And as Peterson issues a walk to begin the 7th. Let's pause for a moment for this message.
Winning doesn't just happen by accident. At WHG, we know every case is earned before you ever step inside the courtroom. WHG, preparation wins.
I think what you were talking about with Anthony Bender coming in when he did is something the Marlins do really well. From information they have with their staff, is slotting pitchers in the right spots.
Right.
And that was a perfect spot.
And that's what Kelly was talking about when chatting with Daniel Moskos. That was the pocket. If the Marlins were going to take Max Meyer out of this game, that was the pocket you wanted. And boy, it worked. Well, that one goes all the way to the backstop. Not too many changeups get away up there. And down to second goes Troy on a wild pitch. His second wild pitch of the game. It's always funny when things are going well and the team wins. It's always the players. When you're losing, the manager doesn't do anything right. Right? It's not the players. I mean, the manager's got to do better. But when things are going well, it's the players. Frozen rope left center. It's headed all the way to the wall. Troy can score. Marte stops at second. And an RBI double for Ketel Marte to extend upon his team leading RBIs with now 38.
He took that fastball, and Peterson have a little trouble right now with his command. Had to come with the fastball. Marte with a perfect stroke. Troy scored easily.
So an RBI double. Here is Carroll, who swings and misses. You know, they did go pass ball on Joe. Not a wild pitch there.
A little surprised.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's a tough one. Up in the. You consider the catcher's down there in that crouch.
Carroll homered in the first, grounded into a double play in the third for just the third time this season, and struck out swinging in the fifth. So a team leading 38 RBIs for Ketel Marte. That was his 12th double of the year. And here is Carroll, the fifth-year big leaguer, speedy outfielder.
To show you what this guy can do, the last 3 years, and he'll probably do it again this year. He's had double figures in doubles, triples, home runs, and stolen bases.
What a weapon. If it wasn't for Ohtani and some other big sluggers like Schwarber, he would routinely find himself in the MVP conversation doing stuff like that, right?
He throws up those quadruple doubles like magic.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. He's got all those other guys to deal with.
Yeah. He was 6th in MVP voting last season, 5th his rookie year when he won it. And by won it, I mean the rookie of the year in 2023. He nearly exhausted his eligibility in 2022 when he played in 32 games. But by a whisker, he did not. And then he won the rookie of the year. And then, as we told you earlier, they turned that rookie of the year winning into Ryan Waldschmidt with their PPI pick. Swing and a miss. Ball bounces out in front of the plate, and Joe Mack gets rid of it just in time to complete the strikeout.
Boy, that was a good play by Joe, and give credit to Corbin Carroll, veteran player. Once he struck out and saw that ball get away, he was motoring up the first baseline. Joe had to go get it, and while getting it, he took a little peek at Marte at second base and then completed the play.
Here's Gabby Moreno, who homered in the fourth. Actually showed Button pulled back, and it's 1-0 as that slider miss.
That's a good pitch. The slider. We know that Michael Peterson has that electric fastball. He has the hardest velocity of any reliever for the Marlins, right around 98 miles an hour.
Peterson's 1-1, misses low.
But if he has to just rely on that and not use the slider, then he can get hit once in a while.
See Marte at second. He has made it a 6-3 game here in the 7th. Up and in on Moreno, and the count is 3 balls and a strike. Saw Peterson on Sunday for an inning. Saw him Saturday. Pitching in the 3rd straight game. But again, they had the benefit of the off day on Monday, and now he has walked Moreno. And the tying run is coming to the plate here in the form of Nolan Arenado. So 2 walks, a double, and a strikeout. Bit of a messy 7th inning here for Peterson.
Yeah, this is the first time he's really shown a little lack of command. He's going to get a conversation with his pitching coach.
So while we have a moment with Nolan Arenado coming to the plate, I'd love to ask you, Hut, if he is a surefire future Hall of Famer.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. You know, he might be one of those guys that might not be first ballot, first time, because there will be those that say he played all those years in Denver. But when you add up some of the offense, the Gold Gloves, 10 Gold Gloves, 30 or more home runs 7 times. Get you thinking about all the Gold Glovers too.
Oh.
That have won that many.
He's been hit by a pitch, singled, and popped out tonight. Oh, that one spins him out of the way.
Johnny Bench won 10 Gold Gloves. Roberto Alomar, Mike Schmidt, Ken Griffey Jr., Andrew Jones, all won 10.
And they all reside in Cooperstown.
Keith Hernandez with 11.
Not there.
Of course, the all-timer Greg Maddux, 18 Gold Gloves.
When Arenado won his first in 2013, that began a stretch of 10 consecutive seasons with gold. He's ahead of the count 2-0. And he lifts this a mile in the air. Outside of third in foul territory, Jimenez has a play. That is a huge second out here in the 7th inning for Peterson.
Well, thank goodness he just got under that, because I was just thinking Denver, the Mile High city, and he hit that a mile high.
Oh.
But just got under it.
Tyler Zuber is gaining some confidence amongst the coaching staff after he saved Pete Fairbanks bacon over the weekend, and he's loose sitting here in the 7th. Pavin Smith is 0 for 2, and he's behind the count, 0-1. Seventh overall pick out of the University of Virginia by the Diamondbacks in 2017. Waits on an 0-1 from Michael Peterson, and a fastball misses. See Gabby Moreno at first, and Marte off in the distance there at second. Tying run at the plate for Arizona here in the 7th. Marlins leading by 3. Swing and a miss.
There's some of that bullpen heat from Michael Peterson.
When he needed it over the weekend against the Rays, he dialed up the heater.
Yeah, there are times I've seen him when he's gone 3 straight fastballs for a strikeout.
Check swing right back to Peterson, and all 6-7 of them is there to take it. Diamondbacks strand a pair here in the 7th. It is stretch time here at Lone Depot Park. It's time to take you to it, and it's brought to you by Celsius.
And welcome Welcome to the stretch presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. The Marlins bats are alive tonight. 11 hits, 6 runs as they have a lead, and it's thanks to Otto Lopez, who once again leads the major leagues in hitting. 338 on the season, also 88 hits. That's the most as well. A couple of doubles tonight for Otto Lopez as the Marlins will try and close this game out. But guys, it's been a great night offensively for the Fish. The bullpen can hold it out. Be another Marlins win. We'll be back to Marlins baseball after a quick word from our friends at Celsius.
Good. We get Celsius real quick. Bro, let's go.
And back with you at Lone Depot Park on this Tuesday night in Miami. Tommy Hunt and Kelly Sacco, Kyle Seeloff with you. Game 1 of a 3-game series between the Marlins and the Diamondbacks. And as we go to the last of the 7th, Marlins are doubling up Arizona 6-3. Ryan Thompson, the big, tall, sidewinding right-hander, is on to pitch for the 27th time this season.
Good ERA. He's done a pretty good job for Torey Lovullo. Scoreless 11 of his last 12 games, but you saw the delivery.
And the Campbell Camel will pitch to Leo Jimenez to begin the 7th. And if you're thinking there cannot be too many Campbell Camels in the major leagues, well, you're right. There's 4 of them, though. And one of them is turning out to be one of the better shortstops in the American League, and that is Zach Neto. Who grew up here in Miami, went to Coral Park High School, and then on to Campbell University. Was the 13th overall pick by the Angels in 2022. Bouncing ball to the backhand of Perdomo at short off the bat of Jimenez. And he is 0 for 4 tonight.
I was just looking at a couple scores. The Dodgers got a couple off Skeens, but he was gone after 6 innings. And now the Dodgers have a 9-2 lead.
So the floodgates open.
So far they've put up a 7 spot in the 7th.
Marlins going very quietly here in the 7th. 2 quick outs on 3 pitches for Ryan Thompson. There's Jacob Marcy, who's 1 for 3 tonight. He's got that batting average at .203.
Tough pitch for a lefty.
Yeah.
You tend to give up on that because, I mean, you're comfortable against the delivery that Thompson has, but you give up on that pitch.
Thompson's about 6'5", 210. Grew up in Turner, Oregon. 23rd round pick by the Astros in 2014. So he's in his 7th major league season. And he debuted with the Rays in 2020. Then Kyle Snyder got his hands on him for a full season in 2021. And believe it or not, Kyle Snyder turned a reliever in the Rays bullpen into a great one, which he so often does.
Not quite as tall as Victor Wembanyama,
no,
but he's up there.
Wemby had a good night last night. 13-game win streak for the Knicks in the postseason came to an end.
Got the Spurs back into it.
So you're telling me that that series is guaranteed to go 6 and the Garden gets 3 home games? Oh, yeah, I'm stunned. Off the hands the second. Very tidy 7th inning for Thompson. Top 8, 6-3 Marlins. Scoreboard brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg and Garcia. And the 8th inning belongs to Tyler Zuber.
Yeah, and we've talked about it. He's a guy that does have experience. I mean, he spent time with Kansas City, Tampa Bay, the Mets. And just coming in the other day and picking up that save shows you the confidence that Clayton McCullough has in him.
Well, we know one thing is for sure here tonight, and it's that Max Meyer has set a franchise record with 14 starts to begin the season without a loss. It's also marking the longest such streak of the majors since Tony Gonsolin of the Dodgers in 2022. There is a win in it for Max tonight, looking to improve to a perfect 7-0 to start the year. Javier Sanoja is now in at third base for Miami. Esteury Ruiz is in right. It's the all-hands team. Zuber misses low to Perdomo when it's 2-0. It's a nice luxury to have when you can bring those two off the bench to play defense late in the game.
Yeah, it really helps. Now you'd like to see the bullpen nail it down and get Max's 7th win.
Marlins have walked 4 and struck out 8 and allowed a pair of homers in this game. Calvin Fauché is up and loosening right behind Tyler Zuber. And there's ball 4. Those were not particularly close. Clayton McCullough probably thinking that was an interesting start. Unbothered. But he might be bothered now. Waldschmidt is hit by a pitch. And once again, the tying run is coming to the plate for the Diamondbacks. This time it's in the 8th and there's nobody out.
That's probably why Calvin Fauché has been loosening. You certainly don't want things to get away.
And then, you know, the next question would be, well, if you had Fauché loosening, why not just bring him in instead of Zuber?
Because I think you feel this is a good slot for Zuber.
Yep. I agree. And I'm sure that's exactly what Clayton McCullough and Daniel Moscas are thinking as well. So Zuber to Groover. And the sweeper's in there for a strike.
He's got the good sweeper. He's got a good slider.
With all due respect to Zuber, his sweeper will not be nearly as good as the one that Groover saw from Bender. Well, pops that foul, and it's kind of funny how relievers can just find it all of a sudden, isn't it?
That's the art, and I'm sure you can have a good conversation with Nelly about that, because that's the art of a reliever. They don't have the opportunity that the starter has.
And he struck him out with an 0-2 fastball. How about that? This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Miami Marlins, and it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins.
You know, that starter always has an opportunity, knowing that he's going to be in the game a little bit, to maybe tinker a little bit, settle in. Reliever doesn't have that chance.
Speaking of starter, we'll see how much the Marlins get from Ryan Gusto, who is the scheduled starting pitcher tomorrow, then Tyler Phillips Wednesday. And we'll get to that at a later date. Here's Tommy Troy. And Tommy takes a sweeper in the dirt for ball 1. Troy is 1 for 2 tonight, singled in the 5th, walked and scored one of the 3 runs to the Diamondbacks in the 7th. That sweeper just missed, or did it? Joe Mack thinks this could be a strike, and the Marlins have 2 challenges left, so why not take a shot?
Good time.
Is Joe right, or is Edwin Jimenez, the home plate umpire, right?
Been a pretty good night for Edwin Jimenez.
And he remains very good. That did miss.
Has one challenge remaining.
So one challenge remaining for the Marlins here down the home stretch. And Zuber ready with a 2-1 on Tommy Troy. Pop foul into the seats, 2-2. Tommy Troy coming off a pretty good homestand for the Diamondbacks. He was 6 for 21 with a homer. His first career home run. And the 2-2 coming his way. Misses high. And now the count is full. Perdomo at second. Waldschmidt is at first. 3-2 hit foul back to the screen. We'll do it again.
This is where Clayton has some things going around in his head right now.
One of which probably this is his last batter, because Ketel Marte is on deck. 3-2 walked him. The bases are loaded with one out. And we'll see if that's it for Tyler Zuber. And it is. So Calvin Fauché is going to have to come in and try to clean up this mess for the Marlins in the 8th. The tying run is at first base for the Diamondbacks, who have him loaded with one out. And Ketel Marte will be the batter, and he will face Calvin Fauché when we return. Marlins baseball is proudly presented by UHealth, pushing medicine forward. And by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms do apply. Well, around and around we go on a Tuesday night here in Miami. It's getting a little bit hairy here in the 8th inning for the Marlins, who lead by 3, but the Diamondbacks have the bases loaded with one out. Top of the order due up. Here's Marte facing Fauché. And Marte waves and misses at a sweeper. And Fauché is ahead of him, 0-1. 27th appearance of the season for Fauché, who ranks second in the Marlins bullpen with a 52.2% ground ball rate, looking for another. And it's 0-2. Fauché trying to extinguish the fire that was lit by Tyler Zuber here in the 8th. 0-2. Liner into right center. That's a base hit. It's going to play to pair. 2-run score. It's a 2-run single for Marte. Tommy Troy goes first to third. The Diamondbacks trail by a run, and now the tying run is at third.
That's why this guy's so valuable. That was a really good pitch. He wasn't going to strike out. Little half swing on the breaking ball that was down. Found the gap in right center. Troy goes over to third, and 1-run game, and the tying runs at third, just like that.
Here's Corbin Carroll, who you can strike out. But the Diamondbacks probably feeling like, well, here's our guy. Here's our chance to tie it. And the Marlins infield is in, because it's tough to double them up. And just like Marte, Fauché is ahead of Carroll, 0-2.
Yeah, we saw Carroll hit into that double play in the 3rd inning, but we mentioned that's only the 3rd one he's hit into.
A walk, a hit by pitch, and a strikeout, and a walk by Zuber. 0-2. Grounded to first, knocked down by Norby. His only play is at first, but the tying run scores for Arizona. And this is a brand new ball game. It's 6-6 in the 8th.
Good stab, good knockdown by Connor Norby. Had he fielded it cleanly, Not sure. See, Troy hesitated. He wasn't going on contact. He wasn't going to the plate had he fielded it cleanly. But a good recovery by Connor Norby.
And here is Gabby Moreno with the go-ahead run at second. Boy, that happened fast. So the 2 walks and hit by pitch have all scored for Arizona in the 8th. Charge all 3 runs to Zuber. And here is Moreno, who homered in the 4th. Sweeper misses low. Now, you're behind Moreno 2-0. Arenado's on deck. You do have a little bit of wiggle room. Who would you rather face? Maybe at this juncture it's 3-0. Maybe it's Arenado. Here's the homer by Moreno.
I think a lot of it in this case depended on how the count went. Now that it's 3-0, you don't want to give him a cookie. He's going to have the green light.
And he missed with a sinker, ball 4. Fauché wanted no part of Moreno. And now he's going to have to go after Arenado. So 3rd time tonight that Moreno's been on base. I think the 4th, because he also reached on a fielder's choice. So 3 inherited runners for Fauché. All 3 have scored. And the Diamondbacks have tied it here in the 8th. It's 5 in a row out of the zone by Fauché, and it's 1-0 on Arenado, who popped out to Jimenez outside of 3rd in the 7th. Well, this has changed quickly, hasn't it? Ground ball to short should get him out of the inning. Little flip to second, side retired, but the Diamondbacks tie it with a 3 spot. Make your favorite players all-stars. Be sure to cast your 2026 Konami eBaseball MLB All-Star ballot daily by visiting MLB.com/vote and help send your favorite Marlins to Philadelphia this July. See how much of an impact Otto Lopez and Xavier Edwards and these boys have down the stretch in this one. 8-9-1 due up for the Marlins here in the 8th. Here's Joe Mack's night tonight. StatCast brought to you by Google Cloud. 3 singles.
Well, the bottom line, he's had good swings every at bat. Remember that one directly back to the mound, into right center to right field. Good to see Joe Mack swing the bat the way he is.
Brand new ball game. We are tied. And here is the lefty for Arizona, Brandon Garcia, appearing for the 16th time with a minuscule ERA.
Yeah, he's got some really good heat. He's upper 90s with a good sweeper.
Marlins wanted to. They could forfeit their DH and pinch hit for Joe Mack, but Clayton leaves him lefty-lefty. Showing some confidence in the young man, isn't he?
I think so, yeah. And I don't know if you want to make that move right here anyway.
And you would also start sacrificing some defense behind the plate. Liam Hicks has not caught in over a week. You don't want any rust back there in a tie game late.
See, you're starting to think now.
Well, I wouldn't get carried away, but an additional cylinder might have fired. But the option was there. And one of your options would have been intriguing with, say, an Heriberto Hernandez, who has been such a good pinch hitter. Maybe we'll still see him at some point. 2-2. That is ripped into right.
That's why you let him hit.
He's got his first 3-hit game in the major leagues. Now he's got his first 4-hit game in the show. Boy, that's nice, Hud.
Boy, great to see. Good job, Joe Mack.
What do you like about that swing?
It's compact. It's solid. Not a lot of movement. Head's right on the ball.
Here's Connor Norby. So Joe Mack is 4 for 4 with 4 singles. Connor Norby is 1 for 1 with an RBI, a double, and 2 walks. These two are a combined 5 for 5, and they've been on base 7 times. Can Norby keep the line moving here in the 8th? He has shown no inclination he wants to bunt, but Nolan Arenado was thinking at third maybe he would consider it. He's playing in on the grass.
Yeah, you got to consider too, Joe Mack doesn't run that well at first.
Marlins have been working on their bunting. It's a weak swing and a miss on a sweeper. And it's 1-2 on Norby.
Yeah, it's good to see the ball club. Every so often they come out, and that is something they work on.
The lefty Garcia is ready with a 1-2. He fires. Oh, he hit him. He hit him with a sweeper. Well, as soon as the Diamondbacks get 3 in the top of this inning, the Marlins have the potential winning run at second.
Yeah, how about that? Connor Norby, a double, 2 walks, hit batter on base 4 times. Sweeper catches that front leg. Ouch, but a good ouch.
Now what do you do with Liam Hicks? Lefty on lefty. That's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Now you could see a bunt. You could possibly see a bunt from Liam.
Pete Fairbanks has been and continues to loosen. Liam had 3 sacrifice bunts last season. He does not have one this year. And what makes this even more difficult, Hut, and you could certainly speak to this more. I mean, this is a weird arm slot from the lefty.
Yeah.
This is tough if he's going to try to do it.
Not an easy guy to hit, not an easy guy to bunt against. Plus, you have a 10-time Gold Glover at third.
So after the mound visit from Brian Kaplan, here is Hicks.
Yeah, a little turn move. They tried to bluff, and they got Liam to show that he was bunting.
Yes, he was.
A little flinch.
So now they know exactly what he wants to do. How about the old Butcher Boy play now? Boy, he kind of ran up in the batter's box. You see that? What's he trying to do there, getting so far up in the box?
To get it before it breaks if it's a sweeper.
Looks like a young Ichiro. Popped it up. And that's the only out they're going to get. Both corner infielders were crashing, and Hicks pops out to the pitcher. And it's probably a really good idea that Garcia didn't try to get too cute. Sometimes guys will try to let that fall, and you try to turn 1 out into 2. Boy, look at Liam. He's losing it.
Yeah, he's upset.
That's all right. He cares.
He does. But I don't mind seeing that.
I like to see a little emotion once in a while. Now here is Otto. He was 2 for 4. Yeah, that's the go-ahead run out there at second base right now with 1 out in the form of Joe Mack, who in terms of catchers actually runs okay.
Runs okay for a catcher, yeah.
Tied him up, no appeal, 2-0. Well, you got another lefty on deck. If it gets there, would you consider pinch hitting Hernandez for Stowers?
No.
Because Ginkel is loosening, the righty in the bullpen. That is hit hard into center field, and the base hit. Here comes Joe Mack. Here comes the throw. That's cut off. Otto Lopez has done it again. And he gives the Marlins the lead here in the 8th.
Just let Otto do it. It's automatic.
He is so stinking good.
What a solid approach. Right back up the middle. Third base hit tonight. And another sharply hit ball. Give us the good slide, Joe.
Stowers lays off a sweeper, ball 1. I mean, before long, Hut, he's going to have to start getting the Barry Bonds treatment. You can't pitch to the guy in any type of impactful moment because it feels like a surefire base hit.
Tell you another thing that does after this pitch. It picks up your teammate. It picks up Liam Hicks. Not able to get that bunt down. Visibly frustrated. Otto just picked up his teammate.
It's foul tipped. It's 1-1. What a waiver claim pickup a handful of years ago by Peter Bendix. Ooh. I think both runners were thinking about going there. And it certainly caught the attention of Braden Garcia, who's coughed up a run, something he very seldomly does. Slow bouncer out to second. The only play is at first. There's 2 away, but both runners do move up 90 feet. Well, let's take a look at our Allstate Good Hands replay tonight. Nice little side swing here of Otto Lopez.
Well, you know you're always in good hands with Otto at the plate. An aggressive approach. He's made some changes. I know we've showed you a few of those from last year to this year. And confidence is a big part of that.
They are going to intentionally walk Xavier Edwards and bring Javier Sanoja to the plate. Boy, a very interesting decision. And Torey Lovello is going to go out and get Garcia after the intentional walk. So it'll be Kevin Ginkel to face Javi when we come back. So that's the situation here at Lone Depot Park. But you should know the Marlins have taken the lead here in the bottom of the 8th. And it's 7-6 Miami. And we are back here at Lone Depot Park, bottom of the 8th inning. Marlins have them loaded. They've taken the lead at 7-6. By the way, Arizona getting 3 runs at the top of the 8th. No win in it for Max Meyer tonight, who gutted things out. But here's Kevin Ginkel, Hunt.
And the key, if you notice, the Marlins are doing it off a bullpen. Every one of these guys coming in has a low ERA. Even Ginkel at 2.84. Primarily a 2-pitch guy. Good fastballs and sliders.
Norby at third, Lopez at second, Edwards at first. The batter is Javier Sanoja. Infield back with 2 outs. First pitch in there for a strike. Check swing, did he offer? No. It's 1-1. This is a shallow fly ball into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. That's going to play 2 more. And the Marlins are opening it up here in the 8th. Javi does it again.
He has a knack. He has a knack. Coming through big once again, Javier Sanoja. A lot of sliders. He took the sinker in on the hands, dropped it in front of Waldschmidt in center field. He'll attack early in the count, but with a strike, he'll just try to make contact. That's just what he did there.
Here is Esteri Ruiz. And he yanks this down the left field line. That's a fair ball. In retreat is Troy. Sanoja slams on the brakes. That's an RBI double for Esteri Ruiz. And it's a 4 spot here in the 8th inning for Miami.
So the two guys who came in for defense have come up big offensively.
This feels like exactly what Clayton was talking about earlier today with his team.
Stayed on that fastball. Chased Javi over to third.
You know what I'm saying? How they just don't give in. They
don't know how to. They don't know how to.
We've talked about this before, but there's a lot of veteran, really expensive teams with some big sluggers that have all the power, that you give up 3 in the top of the 8th, late in the game. You're just hoping one of the big boys making 25 mils just going to park one, and that's how you win it. But Marlins can't win it that way, man. They need everybody to contribute, and that's exactly what they do.
They've had at least 1 hit in every inning but the 7th.
Yep. And they've got 4 here in the 8th. The most they've had in any inning tonight. So now the floodgates have opened, and here is Marcy, hoping that those waters will continue to rise. He is the 9th Marlin to bat here in the 8th. Marcy 1 for 4 in this game. Marlins have 10 runs on 15 hits in this contest. I think that 1 hit is, or the 15 hits is 1 shy of a season high, but I'll have to confirm. Let's see. Team batting, most hits in a game this season? Yeah, 16. They've done it twice. Haven't done it since April 24th. So why not, Jacob? Get another. He went around on the slider. He strikes out to retire the side. But 9 men come to the plate for the Miami Marlins here in the bottom of the 8th. At least in our opinion, their surefire all-star Otto Lopez is coming through in the clutch again. And the Marlins lead 10-6.
I'm Jay.
Well, it's been an exciting night at the ballpark. Marlins with 10 runs on 15 hits. Calvin Fauché all of a sudden is in line for a win. There is no save in this game. But after the off day, Clayton McCullough is going to put Pete Fairbanks out there on the mound to try to start to right the ship with his closer.
Yeah, trying to come back from that last outing, 39 pitches. He couldn't get through the inning. For the Marlins to put on a nice little run and get back over 500, they need this guy right.
You're right. How about this note from our incredible Marlins communications department? Joe Mack tonight has become the youngest catcher in Marlins history to record 4 hits in a game. There's been some good catchers, you might recall. Some very good young ones as well.
Charles Johnson.
High chopper goes foul. Yes, CJ.
CJ out of the U was young.
JT. One-two. Struck. Now, very nice start here in the 9th inning for Fairbanks. Here's a look at your pitching matchup tomorrow night. 6:40 first pitch, airtime 6:15 right here on Marlins.tv. Ryan Nelson versus Ryan Gusto. So Ryan to Ryan. Geraldo Perdomo, 2 for 2 tonight.
When Pete gets that cutter, slider working for him, locating. And they can go up with 97 with that short arm delivery. He's tough.
This game is 3 hours old, and the Marlins do not care because they are on their way to a victory here tonight. Marlins tomorrow now will have an opportunity to do something they have not yet done this season, and that would be to win 3 consecutive series. 1-2. Just got a piece of that cutter.
Another great note from our media department. 6 doubles tonight. Marlins joined the Astros, the only 2 teams in the majors to collect 6 or more doubles in 4 games this year.
You know, they don't have a ton of power, but now they've got 108 doubles on the season, which is just outside the top half in baseball. They've got the second most triples. They kind of have like sneaky power, right? It's like, yes, they do need to string singles together, but they'll get their fair share of doubles and especially their triples.
They back-to-back games with 3 home runs recently.
The other thing, Hut, that we probably don't talk about enough, well, we talk about how many stolen bases they have. They oftentimes will turn singles into doubles, right? I mean, that's the way that they have to play. But when you lead the major leagues in stolen bases and you have your hand, you collect your hits, it's turned into some wins. 2-2. It's low, good eye by Perdomo. So with a win, the Marlins would be 32-35. With a loss, the Diamondbacks would be 34-32. Marlins trying to improve to 7-3 against the National League West this season. And 21-16 here at home, but Fairbanks loses Perdomo. It's a 1-out walk.
Of all the good things, I'm sure Daniel Moscas will say, you know what? As a pitching staff, can't walk 7, can't hit a couple batters, can't give those free passes.
There's Ryan Waldschmidt. And we have a challenge coming from Joe Mack, who believes that this first pitch fastball was a strike. Seems very sure that it's a strike. We'll see about that. So the walk to Perdomo means that he's reached base 5 times tonight. He means very little at first base right now for Arizona. And in particular, you should not be paying much attention if you're Fairbanks. He is not. And Waldschmidt swings through a fastball.
Giving myself a homework assignment for tomorrow.
Okay.
So I've seen it, I think, more with the Marlins. But in this situation, with you figure the runner's not going. You used to see the first baseman playing behind the runner just to cover a little more ground.
Right.
But the Marlins usually have whoever's at first base covering the bag.
1-2, struck him out with a cutter. That was a filthy one.
So the assignment to myself is to figure out
Why?
what the theory is in that. Good pitch, second strikeout of the inning.
So 2 outs, and here is Lou James Groover. And he cues that right through the vacated right side of the infield, and the base hit. Perdomo stops at second. 2-out single for Groover. And the Marlins are hoping that Groover was simply delaying the inevitable there.
Well, you certainly want to get this guy. You don't want to get back to the top of the order.
No, you do not. That was a chuckle from Daniel Moskis, as if to say, well, what are you going to do about that? Tommy Troy takes ball 1. The only thing you'd have to worry about here in the 9th inning is Fairbanks has now thrown 18 pitches on the heels of him a few days ago throwing 39, which tied a career high. And that is a strike on Troy. That's one there. He probably should have taken a shot on.
He might have, if he rethinks this, might have challenged that one.
Surprised he didn't. You can't take him home. I guess you can take him home with you, but they're no good once they get back to the room. 1-1 hit foul. Now it's 1-2, and again the Diamondbacks are down to their final strike. Check swing. Did he go? No. Two strikeouts, a walk, and a single here in the 9th for the Diamondbacks off of Fairbanks. 2-2. Ball 3. Not made it easy on himself all season long, and the Marlins are desperately trying to get their closer right. Runners will take off, and a 3-2 2-out pitch. We'll do it again.
Troy fouled off that cutter.
Now 23 9th inning pitches for Fairbanks, who, if there's a save in it tomorrow, may be unavailable. Pitch number 7 coming to Troy from Fairbanks. This is hit in the air to right. Ruiz is going back. He's got it, and the Marlins win it. They take game 1 from the Diamondbacks by a final score of 10-6. Marlins have now won 6 of 7. Tonight they scored 7 runs with 2 outs. They had 6 doubles as a team, and they've got a chance to win their 3rd consecutive series with Ryan Gusto on the mound tomorrow.
Well, we'll start with the gutty performance, I thought, from Max Meyer. And you even heard Kelly in talking with Daniel Moskis. Maybe not the best stuff for location, but battled his way 5 1/3 innings, gave up just 1 run. And then you go to the offense, and there was a lot of offense. You see the 15 hits, 3 of them 2 doubles. He scored 4 runs. Otto Lopez had an RBI, stolen base. What a night for him. And Joe Mack became the youngest Marlins catcher to ever have a 4-hit game. He was 4 for 4, scored a couple runs. Connor Norby, hitting 9th, was on base all 4 times. So good night all around. Fun to watch. You hated to see them give up the lead and Max not have the opportunity to get the win, but they kept fighting the way they've done all year.
I will ask you, because Kelly is about to chat with him, what is starting to impress you most about the maturation process, what's happening right in front of our eyes of Joe Mack?
Well, I think when he initially got here, he got here because everybody talked about his defense, his catching. So I think he was probably more concerned with that. Now that he's settled.
And welcome back to the Marlins postgame show. Miami defeats Arizona by a final of 10-6 tonight. We're back on the air tomorrow for game 2 of the 3-game series at 6:15. Nelly and I will be on the pregame show. Don't look now, folks. Your fighting fish are getting hot. 6 wins in their last 7 games. Keep that going tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow morning for the afternoon on the Marlins postgame show.